Chris Pronger, what a career he had. Great hockey IQ, and he played nasty.
Oh, baby, what a shot by Chris Pronger.
Pronger's going to get his second goal of the period, his second of the game.
They score! There's the big one, folks.
Chris Pronger, no matter what, he's going to pick up his 500 assists.
15 years, 4 different teams, and with tonight's game, 1,000 games.
A Hart Trophy, a Norris Trophy, a Stanley Cup. I'd say, boy, this guy's had a heck of a career.
Let's take a look at this resume because this is significant. You can see there, Hall of Famer in 2015, Stanley Cup champion, one of the 100 greatest players to ever play this game, named at the Centennial for the NHL, and one of a handful of guys to win a Stanley Cup, a World Championship, a World Junior Championship, and Olympic gold medal. He's got 2 of those, the great Chris Pronger. Chris, thanks so much for the time today. We really appreciate it. And you're going to have another honor coming up in January. The St. Louis Blues are retiring your number 44, only the 8th number retired in St. Louis Blues history. It's been delayed a little bit with the pandemic, but it's going to happen in January. What do you think that night's going to be like for you and your family?
It'll be very special. I guess this is the last possible thing that can happen for my career, and we can finally turn the page and move into 2.0.
Well, hey, listen, it's a pretty good career, and you've had a lot of well-deserved honors throughout your career. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, looking back, it's been 10 years since you last played a game. You had to retire due to health issues, which was, I think, way too soon. Probably could have played, for several more years. Do you feel like it's been 10 years now as you look back?
No, but it was a long run, and had a blast playing the game. And you know, I think for me, it was really when time is up, time's up. You know, I was able and fortunate enough to play 18 long years and played with a lot of great players on a lot of great teams, and fortunate enough to win the Stanley Cup in Anaheim. Won a couple gold medals for Team Canada in the Olympics, and you know, I think learned from a lot of great players, and you know, I think that's all you can ask of your career, and you know, when you have some of the all-time greats to play with, Wayne Gretzky, Al McGinnis, Brett Hull, 2 of which numbers are retired in St. Louis here, so it's you know, a long career that when you look back on and see the people that have been a part of your career, have been able to see you early on and then see you late in your career, and kind of where you started and where you came to and came from, I think is great that they're still around and a big part of it. And obviously Al was the one that told me about St. Louis retiring my jersey and my number here. So it all came full circle a couple years ago, as you said, pre-pandemic, but it'll be here soon enough, and we're excited, that's for sure.
Chris, we had Rick Nash on a couple of weeks ago, and you know, he had to retire in similar fashion due to health issues, and you had the post-concussion dealings. You're dealing with a knee replacement right now as we speak, so I hope things are going well there. How are you? Were there lingering effects? Because I know this is something that has got to be really difficult. How is the day-to-day for Chris Pronger now, 10 years after finishing playing?
Yeah, I think really once I get my knee back to quasi-normal, as far as physical standpoint, being able to work out and things of that nature, I'll feel a lot better. You know, there was probably 3 or 4 years that were not good in the beginning due to, you know, the head and the eye and all the lingering effects of the injuries. But you know, now it's, you know, you kind of get settled into day-to-day life and you kind of manage things. And yeah, once in a while, if you do too much, not lately, but you know, when you do too much or you feel good and you know, work out 3, 4, 5 days in a row, yeah, there's a little bit of a overall effect, but nothing that is too debilitating now. You know, having, you know, as you said, 10 years it's I'm starting to feel a lot better.
Let me ask you about that Stanley Cup run with the Anaheim Ducks. You were in 3 Stanley Cup finals, one with Edmonton, one with Anaheim, one with Philadelphia. In Anaheim, you win the Cup. And for me, you're paired there with Scott Niedermayer, or you're part of that defense group with Scott Niedermayer. In my lifetime, I don't remember 2 defensemen as good as you two were playing together in their prime in the National Hockey League. What was that season like, and in the run-up to finally putting that cup over your head?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously played against Scotty, played with him with the Olympic team a number of times, but fortunate enough to, both played the game a little bit differently. He's obviously one of the all-time great skaters to ever play the game, and learned a lot from him. I think I learned a lot leading up to that year, and then obviously him having won 3 cups in New Jersey, and he was the only one on our team that had won a cup. Mm-hmm. A few of us had been to the finals but hadn't won, so learned an awful lot from him and how he looked at the game, how he prepared. We all do things a little bit different, but he's, again, one of those players that calm, cool, collected. The bigger the moment, the cooler he got, and the more he took control. And it was kind of a zig and a zag between Scotty and I. you had the smooth skating Scott Niedermayer, and you had the big burly Chris Pronger. So it was a good 1-2 combination. A lot like when I played in St. Louis with Al, and you're fortunate enough to play with players that complement your skill set and complement the way you play the game. And I think you look at those two as you said earlier, top 100 of all time, and players that you look at and you pick pieces of their game and you try to add that into your game when it suits. A lot of this stuff, as far as the skating, I couldn't do what Scotty did, but you try to pick little pieces and things that you see they are so good at. You're able to kind of add those into your game and try to become as good a player as you can, and continually trying to improve and be the best player you can be each and every night you're on the ice.
Chris, the Olympics are coming up. We think that the NHL players are going. I guess time will tell if that actually occurs. You played in 4 Olympics. You won 2 gold medals. What did the Olympic Games mean to you?
Well, any chance you get to put on your team, your home country colors, and in this case, the Maple Leaf of Canada, and wear that, and be able to participate in the Olympics, and having gone the first time the pros were allowed, 98 to 2010 in Vancouver. It was, from Nagano, Japan to Salt Lake City to Torino, Italy to Vancouver. The 2 North American Olympics were great, having won gold. But, I think you learn an awful lot from the adversity and when you are not successful. And I think Nagano was a great example of playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. I think there was a great deal of pressure on that team with Gretzky and the first year of pros and everything, just looking at our roster, looking at our team. You might argue that we kind of caved to a certain degree to the pressure, or didn't play the way we should have. Lost a tough game to the Czechs in a shootout, and then just were not up for the challenge and kind of did not play very well against Finland in the bronze medal game. We had gone there with the intentions of winning gold, and I think we're a little defeated having lost in a shootout. And you go through that, and then the adversity we faced in Salt Lake against Sweden right out of the gate, getting beat pretty handily, and learning how we needed to get better as a team, and ultimately did. And then the same thing in Torino, just did not play well. We kind of had a changing of the guard with a lot of younger players coming into the fold. And for whatever reason, just didn't gel. It just didn't click. And then again, in 2010, another changing of the guard and getting much younger again. And that year it clicked. We played very well. Again, losing a tough game to the U.S. early on in round robin kind of allowed us to kind of come together as a group and really get that chemistry formed and got better with each game, which is what you want in a tournament of that nature.
You've been out of it now for 10 years from a playing standpoint. You've been involved in a couple of different roles with the league, with the Florida Panthers. Now you're in business with your wife, a very successful travel business you got there in the St. Louis area. Let me ask you this, though. As you've watched these games and the players, there was a lot of discussion, I guess, last week about Trevor Zegras making the really kind of nice alley-oop pass over the net, and then Sonny Milano banging into the net. There was some discussion about maybe the way the players are nowadays. What are your feelings when you watch the players today and the way the game is played? What does Chris Pronger think about it?
Well, to be able to showcase skill like that and talent like that is great. You know, as a defenseman, you get one chance to do it. And after that, you're going to pay a price. So, you know, it's great. I was fortunate enough to scout him leading up to the draft when Anaheim took him, and he's got a tremendous set of hands, highly skilled, very talented player. You look at a lot of these young kids coming into the league; they're very talented, very skilled, highly touted. You know, it's just another piece of the game. You know, from a defensive standpoint and a physical side, it's not the same. You know, I think that's been well discussed and talked about, and that side of the game has kind of waned a little. But the skill set and the talent level that's on display each night is probably at an all-time high. And some of that is because the game is a little bit different. It's not as physical. It's, you know, it's a little more catered to that skill set, which is great. It provides the fans a lot of high-scoring games. You know, I know a lot of friends in the area and a lot of friends that like hockey. You love seeing those high-scoring games. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of fans out there that crave the tenacity and that physical passion for the game that I think we rarely see in the regular season. You'll see it once in a while, but very, very not very often. Until the playoffs roll around, and then you see teams realize what's at stake, and that intensity level picks up, and that understanding and realization of what's at stake and what you spent all year long. They played 82 games and who knows how many preseason games, and then ultimately playoff games to get to where you are. And as that electricity and energy in the air picks up, so too does the mindset and the physicality within the game.
Well, Chris, you could have been a great player in any era and successful in any era. Thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate it. Take care of that knee and take care of those. You've got two big sons that are playing basketball that are basketball fans, 6'7", 6'8". So take care of that family of yours, and hopefully we'll get to see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on. Take care.